middle school, maybe 7th grade. I knew this kid named David S. And I mean, he was nice enough. I liked him, but God, I didn't like him. God, stop. You're embarrassing me. So anyway, there's this kid named David S. And he had this desk. And for you guys to understand, when I was in middle school, our desks had like a hinged top. So you would lift it and put your things in the desk and then close the top, which was a terrible idea because because many times what would happen is you would have the desk and you'd have all of your stuff on top of it, like your water bottle and your books and your notebooks and all that stuff, but you'd need to get more stuff out of your desk. So then you'd have to like hold all the stuff down and then like lift your desk just a tiny bit and then reach under and grab like a number 2 pencil and then like lift everything down, but things would eventually fall off and it was just a very bad design, I realized. So anyway, he had this desk and like most middle school boys, it was full of garbage. And it was so full, in fact, that like you couldn't actually shut it all the way. So like the hinge would be up about maybe 2 inches and there'd just be paper spilling out the side of it and everything. And of course, having a desk this full made it very top heavy. And this is a good important thing to remember for our story. So one day during school, it was like a middle period, you know, people were just milling about waiting for the next class to start. And I noticed that David's desk was out of line of all the other desks. Like it would be like desk, desk, David's desk. And it just bothered the heck out of me. So I decided to move it back in line with all the other desks. I was a kid. I was weak. The structural integrity of the desk was very compromised, and I just inched it just a little bit, and the whole thing just toppled over, and all of his stuff spilled everywhere. It made the biggest, loudest noise you've ever heard. Everyone stopped and stared at me. The teacher was giving you that disgruntled look that teachers always give, because all my teachers hated me, and I was so embarrassed, like you wouldn't believe. You remember how being embarrassed feels when you're that young? Like, yeah, that embarrassed. But it wasn't that big of a deal. Everybody helped clean up, get the desk set back up, and set it up. Cool. Story's over, right? No. A few weeks later, we were at class. It was kind of a middle period where everybody was just milling about, and I noticed that his desk was out of line with the other desks. Again. Now, you have to remember, I was a kid. I did not have that voice in my head that said, hey, yeah, maybe don't do this, you know? Learn your lesson from the first time. No, I didn't have that voice in my head. I saw his desk and I thought, it's out of line with all the other desks. Maybe I should move it and change it. So I did. I tried to inch it just a little bit, just a little like boink. And of course, it fell over and made this huge loud crash and everybody looked and stared at me. So here's the thing about middle school, is if you do anything to a member of the opposite sex more than once, people are going to start to think that you have a crush on him. So everybody's going to start to think that I have a crush on him, which I don't. God, ew, I don't even like him. Stop, you guys. A few weeks later, his desk was out of line. Again. So I pushed it to put it back in line and it fell over again. And at this point, you think that I should just be declared criminally insane, because what kind of idiot would push a desk over 3 times practically in a row? But I think at most you could just declare me some stupid 12-year-old kid, and I mean, it's the same thing, really, right? Like, insane, criminally insane, 12-year-old kid who may or may not have a crush on David S., which I didn't. God, you stop bringing that up. Jeez. A few weeks go by. His desk is out of line again. This is the 4th time. And I am pleased to tell you that I finally learned my lesson. I saw his desk. it made little 12-year-old me go insane in the head. Just like, I see it. I should move it. But I finally had that voice in my head that said, hey, psst, yeah, maybe, don't touch his desk. Okay. So I finally learned my lesson. And I carry that lesson with me everywhere I go, actually. Every time I see something that isn't mine, that's like out of place or, you know, out of line just a little bit, I always have that feeling of like, I need to change it. I need to move it. But then I remember the lesson of David's desk. And I don't touch it. Or else it's going to fall over. Everyone's going to think you have a crush on whoever that's owned by. And you'll die of embarrassment. Literally. So, thanks for listening.